I want to talk to you about my love for wildlife and how it started, and how I think if you have kids, you can do this for them as well. I think many adults have an appreciation for wildlife. Sometimes kids get the pack mentality and do things that are negative for wildlife. Like, for instance, a buddy of mine bought one of our old houses, and this kid took a golf club and whacked all of the cactus pads off for fun. And it sounds fun, it really does, but it's sad too. Cactuses, I think, will actually bounce back and multiply due to that, because they're like, what's that, Medusa's head. When you cut one off, you got two now, or whatever. I think it's Medusa. Whoever it is, it might not be Medusa. Hydra. So that's how cactuses are. But the point is that instilling good ideas and thoughts and memories in a kid's mind can actually lead to a kid living a long, prolonged life of appreciating and contributing to preservation and spreading the information of wildlife. So here's a few things that really made all the difference in my early years of development. The first one being outside, getting out of the house and going out with other peers. And because I was able to get out of the house at a young age, and you don't have to be a vegan to love wildlife. We went fishing, and we would catch fish. And it brought me outside, to which I learned that fish eat worms, to which I learned that alligators eat fish, to which I learned bald eagles also eat fish, to which I learned so many very important things because I was outside. Later on in my childhood, we had put up a birdhouse. Birds also make houses like we do, right? So we put up a birdhouse. Got a nesting bird in there. Got hit by Hurricane Andrew, 1991 or 2 or 3 or something. Knocked my birdhouse off. Birdhouse came to the ground. After the storm passed, we looked at the birdhouse. What did we find in there? Not a bird with its eggs, a rat snake. Rat snake was eating the eggs. Snakes are reptiles like alligators. Birds lay eggs like reptiles. Birds have homes like people. Started tying together different things that make it all so similar. That's one thing I think that people need to realize, is just how similar we all really are. It's that separation from the person and the cacti, and not seeing that we're both living, growing, breathing things, that allows one person to totally not appreciate cacti or see the value, or even wonder to the slightest extent if a plant such as a cacti could feel the pain of the golf club hitting it from its host or its parent, its root system, to which it would have to start from scratch and grow a new root system and new foliage and hopefully survive. We all can relate in a sense of survival. We all are trying to survive. And we are actually getting rained on heavily today, and my lights just flickered. So we're flooding out, and that's great. Rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey. But what I mean by that is rain makes life, and life makes me happy. So trying to instill a better understanding of the living world around us will help others to appreciate and keep it going, because more as I grow in age, now at 39 years old, my memories of wildlife started at an age when I was just learning things, that now I realize how quickly things go by, and that many of the very old understandings that have been taught forever and ever and ever back in the day, not only have they changed, but that appreciation in some instances has gotten lost. So the fact that we don't understand it all has actually made people more interested in trying to understand it. So for me, I took that to heart. I bought a 5-acre piece of land. It was completely barren. There was nothing but grass and just a small patch of woods in the front. I mean, very small compared to the size of the land. Maybe 5% at the most was forested area in my yard, and mostly just pine trees, which are planted pines that were harvested except for one small patch. So hard to say that I had any biodiversity there. Building the habitat in order for the opportunity to encounter different species of wildlife has helped me better understand. And I've actually had many people here come and appreciate the wildlife and want to talk about it. So there is more value in just the initial sighting Those who want to encounter more wildlife, there's no better way to do it than to bring them right to where you go every single day. It's nice to get away and go see wildlife. Perhaps it's not in your area, or that you haven't encountered because you haven't built the habitats to bring them to your area, or maybe you're out of their range. I've never got a red-winged blackbird here before. Why is that? I don't have any major bodies of water here. So they're not going to come way out into inland and come explore my 3 little ponds I have, because that's too far for them. They're not here. And if they did come here, and they probably have, they're here such a short duration, and the food sources they depend on are here. So they left pretty quickly, So what I'm saying is that, but you can bring so much more. You're not going to bring everything to you, but you can bring tons of pollinators. I mean, demonic butterflies, considered now an endangered species. They have great migratory numbers. However, there's certain points when the migration grows to large size. It's coming down the United States. It goes into areas that are urban or developed, or even perhaps deserts and stuff like that they don't have a lot of food. So only a very small percentage of a large percentage of the butterflies are knocked off. They're done. And then a much lesser population makes it down and finds that food source they need to continue the rest of the journey all the way into South America. You are in that spot. If you live there, you're in that spot. It can make all the difference in the migratory pattern and migration of the monarchs, if you did the right thing. So that's why it is important that we all participate in the understanding and preserving and maintaining wildlife. And that's just one species. 3 wildlife ponds on my property now, thousands of trees and plants planted by me, areas left unmowed and unmaintained, any invasive species that cause harm to the native forest or anything that maybe can't compete with invasive species are eliminated. I have to get rid of these non-native. They're not here. They're not supposed to be here. Watched as the red fox come through my yard, even though it wasn't here originally. It made its migration here from up north, and they only came here because we lost other key predators such as the Florida panther, or the red fox, or the black fox. The black wolf and the red wolf, not fox. The red fox is here now, and those animals left. And what happened? Well, you have new, more cunning predators come in, like the coyote, which is now all over Florida, which is also in the canine family, related to the wolf. Smaller, more elusive carnivore. It won't even take down a deer. Probably more likely to take down your dog, or your cat. So we have a different habitat now, and I realize that. But in some levels, if we build it, they will come. So while we don't have wolves anymore, maybe if we were to restore large corridors and ranges, the wolf would come back. Sounds crazy, right? But how did coyotes get here when they originated out west? And red foxes originated up in the north. Well, they got here by coming on their own means. We didn't bring them here. They just came. And that's the same thing that the wolf would do if given the right chance. The bears, there used to be a lot of bears in Florida. There's some, not like they used to be. They're in the wildlife. They're in their national forest, the Ocala National Forest. They're up in the Big Bend area, down in the Everglades. But in my area, this is all farmland and urban, and there's no bears anymore, guys. There was one bear sighting, and it blew my mind. It went to Walmart in Gainesville. It was in Walmart, not in the store, but in the parking lot. And I was like, in Gainesville, where I live?
Slow down, y'all. This is a bear here at Walmart in Gainesville, Florida, man. A bear at Walmart here by Pine Ridge in Gainesville, Florida. I cannot believe this.
Blew my mind. So they'll come. You build it, they'll come. So build that wildlife and do it with your kids and your nieces and nephews, and help them foster a greater appreciation for wildlife. So back to my childhood, and what really got me excited about wildlife was just being exposed to it. One of the first things that really fascinated me was a snake. Not the yellow rat snake that I saw in the birdhouse that fell off from the hurricane, but a garter snake. Because I flipped up a piece of wood, and under the piece of wood, a small snake coiled up. It scared me. And I was like, that's a rattlesnake. It had a checkerboard pattern. It looked confusing when it kind of turned and moved. Had a flattened out head, ready to strike. I'm like, that's a rattlesnake. And got scared, put the board down, went and got my dad. He looked at it, he looked at it for a second. And he's like, that's a garter snake. And he got it, and I was like, can I hold it? You know, and I started to appreciate the snake. And it didn't even bite me, I don't think. And blew my mind, because it still looked scary when it moved, because it was confusing, disorienting with the checkers. And I learned that snake that day. I learned that snake. And it wasn't but a few weeks later, I flipped that board again, and there was 2 snakes under it. There was 2 more small garter snakes. And only because I had experience before, a mother must have just given birth, which I believe garter snakes, and same as venomous snakes, are also only the live-bearing snakes. And there was 2 snakes, and I knew. And I went and got them and brought them to my dad and said, I got 2. He's like, okay, good. Be careful when you're doing that, because you got to be sure. There's always the doubt in a parent's mind that you may make a mistake and mistake the rattlesnake for the garter snake. But I said, no, Dad, I knew it was the garter snake, and I got it. But that's also how the massive amount of fear that people have pertaining to snakes was probably contrived. It was probably from a parent's underestimating a kid's ability to identify a snake as either harmful or non-harmful, and instead of trying to teach them every one of the 50 species of snakes here in Florida, just saying snakes are dangerous, snakes are bad, don't do anything with snakes, I'm going to kill it so you don't do it. And it grows. Like, it doesn't even have to be that, but so then that from there it goes to, they tell their friends snakes are bad. Next thing you know, this guy told me snakes are bad. We should kill it. I'm not that scared of it. Let's go ahead and kill it and do a good deed. And now, next thing you know, snakes are bad. Kill it, and that's sad. So we have to reverse that. And unfortunately, negative things are harder to reverse than positive things in most cases. So it's going to take some work, y'all. And this is going to take people learning and spreading awareness about this. So that's just snakes. You know, that's just one thing. So it was really cool when I learned that, you know, they're trying to save an endangered species of frog. I just posted that video. And then wanted to get on here again and just say thank you guys for following me and being such a loyal follower for so long. And if you're not a follower, I really do appreciate you following. And the reason I'm making this video isn't for the money. Trust me, there's not much in it. It's for the spreading the awareness of the importance of wildlife. Because once we lose it, guys, there's no going back. We can be hopeful. And we are hopeful in the case of things like the Tasmanian tiger, in the case of the woolly mammoth, in the case of the dodo bird, in the case of many and many extinct species of mammals, Lonesome George. We really have to preserve what we do have, because there's no guarantee that any of this stuff's coming back, guys. It would be cool. It would. We need to restore some of these native habitats for things like the Tasmanian tiger to get back here and repopulate as it was supposed to balance out the ecosystems in Australia and Tasmania. And we need to bring back the woolly mammoths into the Arctic to pack the snow and create permafrost. And we need to bring back so many things that us, the unbalanced ones, the ones with the big brains, have messed up permanently. And there's no way to do it other than using the same big brains to really try to save what's left here. And there's a lot of hope, and there's plenty of ability out there to do it. So with that said, if this means anything to you, then contribute by hitting the like button, subscribe to this channel, post in the comment section some suggestions of maybe specific species or habitats or anything wildlife or natural world related that I could post to just spread to my audience. And I don't have a Patreon yet, and I don't have a GoFundMe, and I don't have anything specific yet. Not because I don't think I could do a lot of good with that money, but because there's so much more good that I can do with the resources I have that I don't need more money to do it. The best thing I can do is to just tell y'all what I know. And as time goes on, hopefully I can reach more people, and that spider web of information can get out further. And we just got to talk about it, guys. It's that simple. So we'll see you next time in the great outdoors. Peace.